Hello, everyone. Wanted to welcome you to our Illumination spot today. The title today is Adversity Does Not Build Character, but it reveals it. So that was something that I was naturally doing my tarot the other day, and one of the cards came up, and the thought of this just kind of popped in, and so I thought maybe it was something that Lenny and I could kind of talk about. So I have a question for Lenny, if he's ready.
I'm always ready, Linda.
Okay. So I'm going to rephrase the question in a little bit different way, just to see which resonates with you. Do
Okay.
you ever feel like the load you carry is too much? Or have you ever felt like life's load for you is too much?
Man, those are similar questions, but a little bit different as well.
Hmm.
And they're great questions, by the way. And I'll answer it this way. Yes, at times I do feel that way. When you go through life and you go through some struggles, and there seems to be a paradox between the two, right? So it's always going to happen. I'm aware of that. I'm okay with it. There has been times where it's like, okay, and the way I've my verbiage is like, okay, God, how much stuff you're gonna give me right now? Correct. I know I know the adage is he'll only give you as much as you can take, but there are times where I've been like, okay, that's enough. All right, time out here, right? So, but you have to realize it's happening for a reason. You have to also understand that um, I call it our soul story has already been written. So once I learned that, and actually your son helped me out with that quite a bit. Why fret over it? Why have the anxiety over it? Why stress? Of course, we all do. I do as well. You know,
As
I
do
do
I.
having. Yeah, I know you do too. But if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, if our story's already written on this planet, on this earth, and we're worried about the small minutia of things throughout our daily activities, that really, let's face it, at the end of the day, in this lifetime, it's probably not going to matter. But we do all get caught up in everyday activities of the stress, what's going on, what our responsibilities, who likes us, who doesn't like us, who do we have a problem with. Let's face it, man. If you just sit down and just say to yourself, and this is what I've done a few times, man, at the end we win. What I mean by that is your story's written, and if you have faith, and if you're a good person, you don't have ill will, in the end you're going to win. It might be the end of a lifetime, but there's no reason to stress on the daily, especially about things you cannot control. And typically, what I've found when it does that, we tend to create problems for ourselves that really may not even be there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm pretty left brain.
Hmm.
And so what that does is that means the ego's really strong and it's constantly going like this to me. I've really through all of this had to really learn to try to stop that chatter.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Or I'll
Yeah.
say, okay, enough, because that becomes then your focal point. And that's not where we need to be because it's not a good guide. It's an
Yeah.
ego. So it wants to protect itself, not our soul.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, it is a moment to moment struggle for me.
Hmm.
I mean, because I'm trying to do it from a conscious place.
Mm.
Because when we're consciously aware, we can make a change. But oh my gosh, it might be minuscule, you know? And so, yeah, I understand. It's
But
not
those
easy.
small minuscule changes can be a big difference if you're aware of if you said conscious of it, right? And I agree
Mhm.
with you. When you feel those thoughts creeping in, I do the same thing. Now I can actually acknowledge it. Okay, these thoughts are coming in, and I need to block it out because otherwise it'll affect my entire day, maybe week. So you just kind of nip in the bud and say, hey, it's creeping a little bit. It's okay. And this too shall pass.
Well, that's a beautiful thing because one of the things that we were always taught that we can't change anything if we don't acknowledge it.
Correct.
That we first have to acknowledge it, then we work with it. Do you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? But if we keep
100%, man.
saying, oh, not me, not me, not me,
Yeah.
nothing's ever going to change.
Or if you allow those thoughts to just control you, then
Yes.
that also creates a problem for you because now those thoughts you have, which we all have them, guys, based on mistakes we made, anxiety, our past traumas, etc. Then it will take over you. So you just have to check it, and I like to say check the door, and keep on moving. And once I usually do that, I might think about it for about 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'm like, we're going down that path again. That could be a negative outcome for me for that day. And usually lately, I've been able to kind of cut it off. So I'm kind of proud of that fact.
And
But
that's that awareness. That's
I think it is,
conscious
and it takes
awareness.
time. It takes time, man.
Well, let me kind of throw this at you.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, from a spirituality perspective, um, we're always said that, as you said in the beginning, God won't give us any more than what we can handle, right? But there's another way to look at it that might bring more clarity for people, is that, as you said, we have a soul contract, right? We came into this, if you practice that or believe it, which I do,
Hmm.
that it's here to learn life lessons. You can't learn lessons unless you have trials and tribulations, because that's that duality. And it's not so much how we didn't do anything perfect, it's about how we do it. How did we get through that? The old saying, when you get lemons, make lemonade kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard
But
that.
it's
I'm
like
like,
how
yeah,
we
I
get
guess
through
I've never
it.
done it, but
And then from the spiritual side of it, it's almost like we're a container because we have our soul, right? And what if we can't evolve and carry what God or our Supreme Master, whoever we believe it to be, wants us to be, that soul's evolution, if we haven't prepared our inner container? So think about, I'm just going to throw that out there, that our trials and tribulations actually are transformation or evolution of our soul, so that our container now can carry the new light that we brought in.
wow, that is awesome. That's what, and I'll simplify that. If you haven't gone through the trials and tribulations and haven't challenges in your life, how will you be prepared for when they do hit you? Say it hits you later in life, and you've really never been challenged.
Mm,
I think about that all the time, where um, maybe some have been through more than others for whatever reasons, but I know you and I have had our fair share. So, but I think to myself, those situations actually prepared me for the next one, and each time another, how to say this, I found a solution the next time it came up
mhm.
from previous experiences that may have been challenging. I'm okay with that now. So, but keep that in mind, people, as well, where if you're being tested, on a regular basis, all of a sudden, um, embrace it almost. You
Mhm.
know, the Navy SEALs like to say, "Embrace the suck." I used to say it quite a bit too, because I had a friend who actually was a Navy SEAL in an unfortunate situation. However, what that means is, man, stuff is going to happen to you almost every day. Almost have to embrace it and say, "Come on, bring it, let's go." Because in your heart and your soul that it's going to prepare you for the next challenge, probably the next day.
And take a moment to say, wow, what wisdom did I gain?
That's right.
Where
That's right.
now look at me, I've
Yeah.
grown.
Which isn't always easy to do because we like
No.
to blame, maybe at times play the victim. Why me? I get all that, guys. But at the end of the day, and I'm speaking from experience, Linda is too, is once you realize it, because we've done it, haven't we, Linda, in situations where
Yeah.
realize, okay, it's time to move on from that. But it prepared us for the next challenge in life.
Because,
And it made our lives better.
well, and having pity parties and being angry all the time, it doesn't serve you. I know. Been
Not at
there,
all.
done that.
Not at all.
And then I think the other thing I was going to kind of say, Lenny, that, we both are very spiritual, and what we do know as we age, and sometimes, People don't get to age. So
Hmm. That's a fact.
we should be grateful. But as we age, we want to think about when our time does end. Oh, there's Fitzgerald. When our time does
Fancy.
end, we will have a judgment. There will be a
Oh,
judgment
there's
or a
absolutely no doubt.
review or whatever you want to call it. And basically, it's not to condemn you. What it's doing is taking a look at how did you manage this thing we call life?
Wow, that 100%, man. Yep. I always say it's a test. This is a test for the next
Yeah,
level. And not everybody passes it the first time. And if you don't, my guess is you probably have to do it again and again until you learn that lesson and realize what it's all about. Some catch on it quicker than others.
yeah,
But the key is to catch on, guys. That's our message today. And I think it's profound, Linda. I'm glad you thought of it last night because it hits home because we deal with it every day,
yeah, absolutely. It's
every day.
so you're not alone. Whatever you're
Not
feeling,
alone,
whatever you're
folks.
thinking, you're not alone.
And embrace those challenging days and situations. Just find a solution to it. Because once you find a solution to that challenge, okay, you've got it. Then the next one. And over the span of a lifetime, especially younger people, you'll have it in your repertoire, to where you can
Absolutely.
handle it. So good stuff.
Okay. Well,
Well,
we'll
thank
see
you,
you
ma'am.
next time. Thank you.
Likewise. Have a great evening, Linda. Thank you.
You too.